may say. I don't care what they may do. I don't care what they may say.
Oh, yeah! Jesus is just all right with me. He's all right with me. That's the Doobie Brothers, and I am Pastor Johnny, your host, and this is Relevant Vision.
This is Doc Scott Bush. Good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. And, of course, our wingman over here, Mr. Bo Cephas. Jolly, good morning, sir.
Good morning, everyone.
Welcome back from your little hiatus there.
Yeah.
Hey, and, of course, the world's greatest producer, you name it, the man, Victor Anderson.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. A little full house that we have usually here today, man.
We got quite a full house, yeah, with also lovely director, Miss Sandra. How are you, Miss Sandra? Good morning. Good morning, all right. And, of course, we got a special guest today, my good friend, Scott Adair. Blessings to you. Say hi, Scott, real quick.
Hello.
All
How's
right.
everybody? Good morning.
All right. And we're going to get with Scott in just a little bit. He's going to give some of his testimony, so you guys hang in there for the second hour of the show, or I should say second half hour of the show. His lovely wife, Melinda, is with us also. Good morning, Melinda. Yeah, you get in here, Pastor Johnny's going to just... say hi.
Yes.
Bring you in. Really right in. Guys, this is going to be an exciting show. I'm so happy to be here. What do you think? Let's get it going. Oh, yeah. Welcome to the jungle. That's Guns N' Roses. Good morning to everybody. This is awesome. Wow. Hey, my good buddy Fritz. Good morning, Fritz. How are you, sir? Tim is also watching. Hugo. How you doing, Hugo? All right. Good morning, by the way, to everybody. All our Facebook followers. Good morning to everybody out there. We are so excited to be here. You know, it's not really a jungle, but it's our jungle. What do you think, Doc?
It's a jungle when you drive in Orlando.
I know, that's right. Oh, yeah. Hey, and I don't want to forget Bella. Bella is here with us, too. So I'm sure she was excited to hop in the car this morning.
Yeah,
huh?
we hopped in the old Oldsmobile 442, so we got brought that this morning.
Good deal.
We do drive that in the morning because it doesn't have air conditioning, so it's nice and cool in the morning. In the afternoon, we'll...
Switch out cars then.
We will.
Doc, tell us about the weather, by the way. It is nice, isn't it?
So it's beautiful outside right now. It is 72 degrees, high of 96. So it's going to be very nice today. Looks like zero precipitation and winds are 7. Nice little breeze. And so great Memorial Day weekend. We're so thankful for those that gave their lives so that we could live in this country, and so we're eternally grateful for what they've done for us. And
that's right.
So we want to remember them this weekend and give honor to them.
That's right. Don't forget. Yes. Blessings to all those soldiers, to the families that lost loved ones, I should say, in the past. And, just so many. And all the ones today and the guys that are serving. I know my son is serving. So I want to say a shout out to William Hernandez Jr. Blessings, son. Jr. is in the Navy, and he is in Pensacola right now. So we're excited about that. And so many other ones. And ones who have served, like I said, and to the family members. This is awesome. So, yes, tribute. It's a Memorial Day weekend. Be safe out there. Enjoy the sun. Enjoy the water. Here in Orlando, Florida, it's going to be beautiful. It's kind of like the kickoff of summer here, isn't it?
Yeah,
unofficially.
It's unofficial kickoff of summer.
And yesterday it felt that way, didn't it?
Yeah.
Even Friday, too.
Yeah, it was gorgeous.
And you were in traveling around. And, Doc, you know what? I was really excited to know that so many people, I tell you, have messaged me privately, and I won't mention names or different things like that. Of course, I can't do that.
Right.
But you know what? People are listening to the show, and they're enjoying it. And I just want to, and I always want to say thank you, Doc, because you're touching more people than you realize. Let me tell you.
We are a great team, and we have a lot of fun together, and hopefully we are touching lives, because that's what it's all about.
Yes, and we are really excited. So I'm going to have Miss Sandra come up. We're going to read some good news. Wow, good news for via WVA Gators Fest and my good friend George Reynolds. Good morning, George. And by the way, you can subscribe to this amazing email. All you have to do is go to wvagator@gmail.com. That's Whiskey Victor Alpha. WVA Gator, Whiskey Victor Alpha Gator @gmail.com. So exciting. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to talk some sports. So good morning, Miss Sandra.
Good morning. We're going to start off with a question this morning. One of my New Year's resolutions was to read through the Bible. Well, I got started in Genesis, but I only lasted a few weeks. I just couldn't get interested in things that happened to people thousands of years ago. What am I missing? So let's answer that. One thing you're missing is an opportunity to learn more about God and His will for our lives. If we are ignorant of God's word, we'll always be ignorant of God's will. Yes, the Bible tells about things that happened thousands of years ago, and these may seem strange or irrelevant to us, but God does not change, and neither does our human nature. And just as God worked in the lives of people then, He wants to work in our lives today. They lived in a different world, and yet they had the same problems and doubts we have. The Bible says concerning them, these things happened to them as examples and were written down as warnings for us. And that's in 1 Corinthians 10:11. But let me suggest that you're also missing something else. A practical plan for unlocking the Bible's treasures. Instead of starting at the beginning, as we do with other books, I suggest you start at the center. That is, with one of the Gospels that tells us about Jesus Christ. A good place is John. He is the Bible's center. The Old Testament points forward to Him, and the New Testament tells us about Him. You can discover other parts of the Bible later. And ask God to help you as you read, not only to understand what is happening in a particular passage, but what it means for your life today. May Job's attitude become yours. I have treasured the words of his mouth more than my daily bread. And that's found in Job 23, verse 12.
Amen. Wow, that was awesome. Thank you, Miss Sandra. Ooh, very good news. All right, brother, we're going to commercial. owners, Pastor Johnny here. How are you advertising your business or gaining new clients? Do you realize that social media marketing is so crucial to a business? And most owners don't even have a clue about it. By putting your product directly in front of your ideal customer via hyper-targeted marketing, you are more likely to convert them into new customers. You need to visit clientgainmediamanagement.com. clientgainmediamanagement.com for all your social media marketing needs. Plus, they also do website design. Go to clientgainmediamanagement.com. That's clientgainmediamanagement.com. You know, the world's changing, and this is a new way to market your business. It's time to jump on the bandwagon or sadly get left behind. All right, Jay Giles Band. Whoa, that's way back from the 80s. Centerfold. You know, tragically, well, I shouldn't. Jay Giles passed away. It's been about a month now.
Really?
And, yeah, it took me by surprise. I just found that out the other day. Where have I been? You know, but, yeah, Jay Giles, they had a couple great hits that went to, I believe that one went to number one for about 5 or 6 weeks, right? And, but anyway, Jay Giles, yeah, that's a tribute to him. And, well, sir, what do you think? Tell me about this basketball.
Well, we finally get the finals that we've been waiting for after laboring through this postseason.
Yes.
Warriors.
Hey, did I ever get my props on Boston, by the way?
No. I was going to ask about that.
Producer Big gives me the strangest look. He says, who cares? That's old news.
You know what the game?
No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so where are we at then?
Well, game one of the finals will be on Thursday night.
June 1st at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
9 o'clock, and then game two won't be until Sunday.
So this is the most anticipated matchup we've been talking about for a while, and probably everybody in the world. Every sports.
Everybody's been looking forward to this matchup since last 4th of July when Kevin Durant signed to whip Golden State.
That's right. That's right. Oh my! I tell you what, this is something else. So let me ask you this: who do you believe's got the real? I mean, come on. Who's really going to take this thing?
It's a toss-up, to be perfectly honest with you, because you're dealing with. Think about this: you have 7 All-Stars in the finals. That's the most between 2 teams in any NBA finals ever. You have 2 teams. This is the first time ever we've had 2 teams meet in the finals in 3 consecutive years.
Yep.
And you're dealing with. This is really a legacy series for LeBron James.
For LeBron, right?
Because if he wins this one, this will be his 4th.
Mm.
And if Kevin Durant wins, it will validate him going to Golden State.
Right.
It will give validation to the move that he left Oklahoma City in the summer last year. So, and the thing that I'm going to be disappointed in the most is that we're going to focus 75% of our energy to the team that did not win or the player who did not win, rather than give all the praise and all the accolades to the champion.
To an actual championship game.
Everyone was talking about last year how Cleveland came back from down 3-1, but everyone's talking about, Draymond Green got ejected, that cost Golden State.
There's always some type of excuse. Yeah. Somebody's always making an excuse.
Well, that's what this 24-hour news cycle has done. we don't praise those who win. We criticize those who lost and why they lost.
Right.
Instead of celebrating the greatness that we've seen. Celebrating no team ever come back from down 3-1 in the NBA Finals until LeBron James to the Cavaliers last year. State had the first team that blew a 3-1 finals lead.
Okay.
And I feel that when this series ends, which will be in a few weeks, we're going to focus more on who didn't win the championship than those who won the championship. But then as a sports fan and as a talking head on this radio station, I feel it's kind of disappointing.
Well, you know what? And it's typical. You're right. It is disappointing, but it's typical. It just seems like we're always looking for the angle. Oh, well, this one, everybody's always over-analyzing, I should say.
And the thing that bothers me more than anything, and I usually save this for the show on Saturdays, these talking heads in the national media that have this narrative about Kevin Durant leaving and how he left to go to Golden State. And I'm like, the man was a free agent. He had the right to go to any of the other 29 NBA teams or re-sign with the money he was currently on. Mm-hmm. The fact that he signed with the team who beat him, I'm like, hey, if you can't beat him, join him.
And if you're going to give me the money, I'm going.
In the business world, there's nothing wrong with what he just did.
Yes.
There we go. It's a business decision.
Exactly, and this is business.
We love sports, but let's face it, it's not like it was in the old days.
Oh.
It's more about, hey, who's going to pay me? And am I going to get a ring? And if it kind of goes together with the two, great. Because there's some sloppy teams, we'll have to admit, in Major League Baseball, NFL, hockey, no matter where you go, there's going to be one team that overpays for somebody.
Yes.
And then that guy says, okay, well, I don't mind if I don't win a ring. These people are really overpaying me. I'm going to take it.
Like
it's a business.
Was a good example.
Exactly.
He couldn't win in Texas. He couldn't win anywhere else. As he went to New York, he gets a ring.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Anywhere else, like you said, it was a validation.
Texas,
validation.
And I don't mean to go back so far, but I'm glad you brought that point up. Texas way overpaid for. I mean, that was crazy contract in that time.
He got what?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's like,
what was it? $252
million in 10 years.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. And then we thought that was. Now they're talking Bryce Harper. They're talking $400 million. What?
All I gotta say, the common denominator between those two is agent Scott Boras. All I gotta say is God bless his agent.
Yeah. Because I'm going to get all the money I can now, because if I get hurt, even though he's young, take a guy like this, and I don't know if those people who follow the New York Mets, but you got a guy like Michael Conforto, who is just tearing the cover out of the ball. I mean, and nobody really knows who he is. Nobody, granted, he's new. He's fairly new into the year. I mean, he broke out in 2015, had a great year, kind of got lopsided a little bit last year, went back to the minors. But I tell you what, the guy's ripping the cover off the ball this year, and I kind of look at him as our Bryce Harper. And somebody might say, oh, that's crazy. I'll tell you what, that's a talented kid right there.
The Marlins had the same thing with Giancarlo Stanton.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
They paid him $325 million. He the face of their franchise.
That's like walking up. He makes more than most people in America just by walking up into the batter's box.
That's amazing.
Yep.
That is totally.
He don't have to do do anything besides just walk up.
Yeah. We're talking here, Doc, that pushing close to $500 million for a contract. This is what the future's coming to.
And for all those fans, and I know we gotta go get ready to go to break coming soon.
Yes.
For all those fans who say, I pay your salary, all of this, no. The TV contracts and those major networks are the ones that are pushing the big revenue. So for those of you who are
There's a cycle there, though. You got to have the viewers to pay the cable company, which pays the league.
So before we go to commercial, then,
yes.
Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant, yes.
Yes. What do you think? Did he do the right thing?
He did the right thing.
Is he? Well, we know that, but is he gonna win a championship here, or is LeBron and his boys gonna step up?
Well,
come on, guys, I want your predictions.
So Golden State has the better team, first five, starting five.
Okay.
Cleveland has a way better bench, way deeper. They can go deeper than any other team in the NBA.
But does this light a fire in LeBron and say, hey, guys?
Well, to him, it's not a rivalry.
No.
This is the first trilogy in NBA history, but this is not a rivalry to him. This is LeBron's word.
You know what?
We're in LeBron's world.
I'm going to go to State in 7.
Golden State 7?
I like that. Golden State in 7.
Better than what I've heard. 4-1.
If Golden State wins it in 5 or in a sweep, that could be the worst thing for the sport because they'll be like, it's anticlimactic, really.
All right, so okay, I guess we'll just have to sit tight and wait. Bo, what's your pick?
Cleveland in 7.
I'm going to go Cleveland in 6, and I'm not a Cleveland fan. Cleveland in 6.
I'm going to do whatever Pastor Johnny does.
Well, before we get to break, let me ask this trivia question real quick. Since we're in the basketball trend, so how many NBA teams have actually won the NBA Finals?
How many NBA teams have actually won the finals? Wow.
Yes, starting from 1947 to this year, 2017.
Okay, is that a trivia question or what? All right, hey, listen, we're local 407-482-3776. 407-482-3776. That's local, toll free.
Toll free is 1-877-380-1080. We'll take since it's the third time they're playing in the finals, we'll take the third caller.
Third caller. Good question there, Bo. Okay, somebody's going to win the Domino's prize pack. Let's go.
That's a great question. That's my tribute song to myself.
LeBron wins one more ring, and he goes and takes the head coach job at Arkansas. Just saying.
I love you, movie guys. 25! Nothing wrong with being 55 years old. That's right, 55. I'm 55.
And boy, have I found a place to satisfy my craving. It's Mike's Italian Ice. Homemade New York style Italian ice in 20 plus flavors. Made fresh daily. Fat-free, gluten-free, dairy-free. Wow. They also have saucer, chocolate, and my favorite.
Did you go? Yeah, I didn't get to eat. Oh, by the way, I gotta say something about Mike's Italian Ice. This is amazing. That one. The ice cream on top. Oh, ice on top.
Family owned and operated for nearly 10 years. That's Mike's Italian Ice. Oh, and by the way, you can place your order and have it delivered. Call 407-658-4453. Tell them Pastor Johnny sent you.
Listen, you know every part by heart. Pretend lights, hit the heights, and know what heights will hit. On with the show, this is it.
All right, it is showtime, on with the show, this is it. But by the way, I have to say something really quick. Mike's Italian Ice, hey, on Memorial Day Monday, they're doing something special for all of the veterans. So go on over to Mike's Italian Ice. You're going to enjoy something good over there. Hey, also, I want to shout out really quick to a couple people here. Good morning, Miss Paula. Hey, J-Kid. Right on, man. Is watching. All righty, Charles Xavier. Hey, good morning, sir. Gary Wilcox. Nancy Torres. Blessings. And my good friend, Peter Vivaldi. Peter! You're a good man. Blessings to you, brother. All right, Doc, what do you think? You got some jokes for us?
I do. I have a couple jokes. I have a pirate joke.
Oh, a pirate joke. And the Mets are playing the Pirates right now, let me tell you.
So, why do they call pirates pirates?
Why do they call pirates pirates? You guys know?
No, that's a good one.
Vic?
No idea.
They call pirates pirates because they are.
Because they are. Okay. That was a good one.
I got another one. Why do prisoners, what do prisoners use to call each other?
Oh, I know.
What's that?
Cell phone.
Yeah, exactly. Very good.
That was good.
Then
You got that one, Vic.
Where do snowmen keep their money?
Where does snowmen keep their money?
On the bank?
Keep going. What kind of bank?
Snowbank.
Snowbank.
Oh!
You guys are getting good. You got 2 out of 3.
I got one, Doc.
Okay.
What happens to a car's frog when it breaks down?
What happens to a
frog's car when it breaks down?
Oh, frog's car.
I know that one, but I'll let you get
let's see. It's
I don't got it. Vic?
it's
Doc?
it croaks.
It gets towed away.
That was good. Victor, you got one before we go?
I do have one, gentlemen. Okay.
All right.
I got one. Why did a football pitch end up as a triangle? Why did the football pitch end up as a triangle? You have to be a soccer fan to know this.
Oh.
You have to be a soccer fan to know this.
Yeah. Well, you got me.
Because somebody took a corner.
That is good. You're right.
You have to be a soccer fan to
And
get
I
that.
played soccer as a kid. That's right. Corner kick. Good one.
Yeah, we're gonna need some assistance at that.
Everything's getting quiet in here.
Doc, with our resident PhD, Dr. Scott Bush.
I need somebody help. Not just anybody.
Doc, we need some help.
Well, let's
Good morning.
see if we can give you some help. We were talking the last couple weeks about
Yes.
the type indicators, and you took your type indicator and
Probably took it.
So you're an extrovert and
A little bit, right?
Yep. And so we found out when we put your type in what you would be best at. It'd be like teaching and such.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought we would
Definitely like to teach.
Yes. So I thought we would conclude with that because we've been talking about that for a couple weeks.
I love it.
So to kind of briefly catch people up, you can be either you can prefer introversion or you can prefer extroversion. And so people that are extrovert, it's how they receive and direct their energy. So if you're introverted, you'd rather be in very small groups or by yourself. You need that alone time, that downtime to be able to recharge. You can do everything that an extrovert can do. You just need to be able to recharge. Extrovert, those that prefer extroversion on the opposite end of the spectrum, they like to be around people. They like that engagement. That's where they get energized. If they're by themselves, it's very draining for them. And so they receive their energy when they're with a lot of people, and they like to direct their energy when they're with a lot of people. They always say that they have 5,000 friends, and actually they're probably just acquaintances.
They're just acquaintances, exactly.
Right.
Look at Miss Sandra's face.
Then the next piece is how we take in information. We can either be through sensing or intuition. So if we're by sensing, we want facts. We want things that are real, that we can see, very common sense, oversimplifying things. If you're on the intuition side, you take in information by concepts. It's more abstract. You're looking at things or what the possibilities are. So now imagine being married to someone that is very on the sensing side and you're on the intuition side. They're saying it needs to be this way, this way, this way. And the other person is saying, no, let's just go with the flow. Going to go on vacation. One wants everything lined up. The other one says, let's just take it day by day. And so some of the challenges that you could have there. So then the next part is how we decide or come to conclusions. Mm-hmm. So we have those that are the thinkers, and so they value logic over sentiment. They're more interested in what are the rules. So they see the world as it must be this way and everything has to be logical. And then they could be married or in a partnership with someone that's feeling. And so they are very sentimental, more interested in values and people. So when there's a situation, there's a conflict, they don't step back and look at it. they step into it and try to feel what's going on with the individuals. And so if you're in a relationship, a thinker and a feeler, one is, where's the facts? What does it say? And the other one is more, what's going on with you? Tell me about your feelings. And never mind my feelings, here's what the facts say. And so you can see the challenge that can
Must
that
we
can
be
produce.
so rigid?
And so the last one that we hadn't talked about is how we approach the outside world. So we're going to approach the outside world from a judging perspective or a perceiving perspective. So a judging perspective, so how they approach the outside world, they're looking for more structure. Everything is purposeful, goals and objectives, work in like a sequence. We're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And that's how they approach the outside world. Where a perceiver is, let's kind of test the waters, very flexible, more easily to adapt. And so there's a lot of us that are married to like opposites. And so being able to, Pastor Johnny and Sandra, being able to understand the other person and trying to see things from their perspective and not only your perspective. And so that's how you get more emotionally mature, is when it's not just about you. Can you look at the other person's perspective? Can you stand back and say, okay, what's going on here? Can I look at from their perspective? For those that always look at things from the outside, can I step inside and feel what's going on?
Well, how does it work when you have two of the same, though, Doc? I think
when you have two of the same, you're going to think very much alike. You're going to do a lot of things alike. So the plus to that is there's a lot of harmony. The negative to that is you both could fall off the cliff together, because one's not saying, hey, hold on, before we just jump into this and go with the flow, what are the facts about doing something like this? What's it going to take to do this? So in a partnership or on a team, you want a variety of personality types to be able to capture the introversion, the extroversion, the sensing, the perceiving, the judging, the thinking. You want someone that are all of these types, so you get a better global picture. If everybody is just one type, they're going to do things and see things only from one way, which can be very good in harmony in a relationship, not so good in a business or a team. So if you have business partners, you don't want to be exactly the same. You want to have some difference there so that you can have more of a balance in your business.
Wow. What do you guys think? Good stuff, man.
Yeah, and it's I think how everyone talks about opposites attract.
Yeah.
Because you need that. Because you need the rational thinker to kind of put everything in perspective, and you have that outward thinker to try and say, no, we have this, we can think about this, we have to go about this way. So when we talk about opposites attract, that's probably what Doc's referring to, is if you have two people like-minded, you're going to agree on a lot of things, but if things don't go according to plan with that same mentality, you don't have that different perspective on how to look things through. Wow.
Mm-hmm. So imagine someone that has a J, which is judging, compared to someone that has a P for perceiving. So the judging person is the one that is on time, and they're going to do everything is going to be on time. And they are in a relationship with a perceiver that it's like, we're just going to do things and we're going to get it done just in time rather than ahead of schedule. So you're going to an event. And so the judging person, they're going to be like, we got to be there early, and we want to make sure that we're taking account for traffic. And the perceiving person is like, yeah, we'll just go a little bit faster and we'll make up time. We'll hopefully hit all the green lights. And so how much conflict could that potentially cause with something like that?
Wow. That's interesting right there.
Mm-hmm. So being able to appreciate those that are not like you. So if you, most bosses end up to be the thinkers and the judgers, the TJs, and so they are more. These are the rules. This is the way it's got to be, and they can be very difficult to work for because they're not very flexible.
Wow.
Because, hey, the rules are the rules, and they're applied to everybody. Where if you have a feeler perceiver, they prefer the opposite side of that dichotomy. So they're going to be they're stepping into it. They're feeling the situation. They're easygoing. So they're going to give people more leeway and more grace in their job, which could make the boss above them not so happy if they're a thinker judger.
I was going to say, that must be hard then to be a feeler boss.
It's the people that are, this is my opinion, the people that work for the feeler perception, their employees like them better because they're more engaged. They want to know about their personal life.
They're more lenient.
They're more lenient, and they want to be able to have peace in the work community, where a thinker judger, he doesn't care about that. She doesn't care about that. Just get the work done.
Yeah.
A little bit of conflict is okay. Where the other side, they're like,
a little bit.
they're like, that's not so good.
We've got to stick to the plan.
Yes.
Yes. No, that's wow, amazing. Well, we still got a couple more minutes here.
Okay.
Yep.
So they also they put people in pairs, so they can pair up the sensing and the thinking. So when you have a sensor and a thinker, so these people are more fact oriented, logical. They contribute to a team by focusing on the realities and the bottom line. So in a team, your STs, they're thinkers. What's the bottom line? Where if you have the sensing and the feeling ones, they are more looking for practical ways to support people in the group. And then the intuition, the feeling type. So these are the ones. Their intuition is more like they very creative and feeling. They want to be able to connect with people. So they contribute by encouraging and participating insights for developing people. So they're looking for not only the team, but how do we develop the people in the team? And then you have the intuition and the thinkers. So the intuition, these are the ones that are the creative ones and they're thinking. And so they're bringing long-term strategies and creative problem solving. So you want a bunch of different types of these personality types in your team because it allows you to have a better team. So when you have, there's wisdom in a multitude of counselors because people are looking from different perspectives. If you ask a thinker judger a question about a topic, they're going to give you it from that perspective.
Yeah.
If you ask a feeler perceiver, they're going to give you another perspective. And so depending on what answer you want, you can go target those people. But that's not what you really want to do. You want to be able to have wisdom in a multiple counselors and asking different people that have different personality types to be able to get a better picture of what the whole thing would look like.
That's interesting. You know what? And that now makes me think about controversies people could have had at work.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm thinking about the past, places I've worked for before. We're going to have to go to a commercial break, and then we'll be right back. We'll pick up where we left off.
What would be the solution? What would be the to an extrovert who's always like, let's have to bring lunch or whatever, we'll get there on time. And the introvert who says they want to be there ahead of time. What would be a solution to that?
So, being able to find the win for each person. The win for the person that wants to be there on time. They don't want to be late because it's embarrassing. The win for the person that is late, they just want to be able to go to the back. And so finding something in the middle, that's rather than being there 30 minutes early, let's try to 10 minutes early. And so they may have to help the person that is the unorganized one to be able to leave 10 minutes earlier rather than right on time. So they may have to help them. Here, let me help you do this, let me help you do this. Let me get the car ready, the air conditioning's on, the gate's open, we're ready to go.
Yeah, because when you try to help them too much, it can like overwhelm and frustrate them. You don't want that. You want to smooth.
Yeah, be able to massage.
That's where you get two vehicles in. One goes in one vehicle,
Gotta work together.
Yeah.
work some overtime, get the insurance payment up, and get a different vehicle. Love you. I'll see you later.
That's clientgatemediamanagement.com. You know, the world's changing, and this is a new way to market your business. It's time to jump on the bandwagon or sadly get left behind.
Jump down the shelters to get away. Boys are cooking at their cabins. Tell us the jungle is in party time. If it is, can you come? Don't think that we don't know. Don't think that we're not trying. Don't think we move too smooth. It's nice after crying. Saying it's a mistake. It's a mistake. It's a mistake. It's a mistake. After the laughter has died away, now the boys they're fine. No surface noise now, not much to
It's something addressed to you,
we
so
got
you
the
can
bad
address it.
guys on the run.
That sounds like it's pretty balanced.
All right, it's a mistake. Men at work. Woo! All right, we're going to continue here really quick. That's an awesome old song. By the way, I want to shout out really quick to a few other people that are watching. Frank Ferry, hey, blessings and welcome, Frank. Jasmine Morales, good morning. Oh, Blockbuster is watching. Hey, Block, by the way, happy birthday. Want to shout out to Block and also your son, AJ, if he's listening. Happy birthday to both of you guys. Blessings. Ray Vega, Madeline Vega, blessings and good morning. And let's see, my good friend Jay Soul, how are you, Jay? Blessings. And let's see, Cheryl Causey had a question there, or she was just giving an opinion about what we're talking about here, Doug?
Yeah. So what Cheryl was saying, it sounds like she can, she's typically one way, but then she can change to a different way.
Okay.
So
And that's possible to happen, right?
Yeah, so changing depending on different situations. And so that's great to be able to do that. So we're not like completely introvert or extrovert or completely thinking or feeling. We have a preference.
Okay.
But we can go to the other side. So it's like I'm introverted, but I can go talk in front of people. I can be with lots of people very easily. But I just have to get some downtime So when I'm driving in my car, that's like my downtime and my recharge.
Now, I've heard people say this in the past, and it's an old saying, Doc. I can be like a chameleon. Is that what they're talking about then? That they can go back and forth?
I'm not sure if that's what they're talking about, but you can go to either side. An extrovert can do anything an introvert can do, and vice versa. That's not their preference. So I prefer, it's your birthday cake ice cream. That is my preference for ice cream. But I can do vanilla. I can do others, but I have a preference.
Oh, I see. Okay. So, you said that about an extrovert, but how about an introvert?
So an introvert, I test as introvert, but I can speak in front of people. I engage with people every day. I do therapy with people every day. It is draining, but I can do it, and it's fine. Have some downtime. Right. So it's a preference what you prefer, but you can do either side.
Wow, that's amazing. Very interesting. Well, I tell you what, can we have another week of this? Because I think this is still very, 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 I don't know. What do you think, Doc?
Let me ponder that.
Sure.
If you want some more of this, then you can.
How can they get a hold of you, Doc?
Facebook Pastor Johnny on this live, Facebook Live, and you can also call me 407-230-4949.
230-4949. Get a hold of the Doc.
We can just type in Dr. Scott Bush or Scott Bush PhD, and my name all over the internet. You can click there. It has my email address, has my cell phone, and feel free to call me.
Yeah, and people can take that profile there too, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Good deal. Okay, now we're going to move on to the next segment, and we're going to finish off the program with my good friend Scott Adair. I haven't forgotten about you, Scott. And Scott's going to give a little bit of his testimony. We're blessed to have you, brother. We met about a year and a half ago, maybe.
That's right.
And you've been a blessing in my life, and you and Melinda, and you're such a treasure of a person. So I want you to share a little bit about yourselves.
And kind words, Pastor Johnny. Thank you so much. I just want to take time and shout out to my kids.
Yes.
All 25 of them. Dad loves you. Just kidding. 5, 1 on the way.
That's amazing. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah. Me and my wife are expecting a newborn in about 8 months. My story. I come from a good family.
Yes.
Was adopted into a good family. I chose a path of rebellion as I started growing up, which led into a horrific, monstrous drug addiction. And throughout the course of becoming physically and emotionally and spiritually bankrupt, I embarked on a path of prison in 2 different states. Almost 14 years in and out of prison.
That would be kind of half your life then, because you're a young man.
Yeah, I'm 38. Yeah,
wow.
The hairline looks like I'm about 60.
See, and now you say these different. You're funny. you mention these things, but you know what? I think you're the sweetest guy. You're one of the sweetest people I've ever met in my life. You're such a joy and a blessing, and you just radiate, the love of God. So how could this have been that you spend almost half of your life in prison?
Well, I finally just decided that I was empty. I tried so many different things, so many different various lifestyles I wanted to take in. Man, it didn't do nothing for me. Nothing. I was empty. And the thing that I carried around on my shoulders was just a burden of sin and heaviness, and I was tore up. And I finally just decided one day, I needed to try Jesus. I'd heard about the story of Jesus, grew up kind of in church, and heard all these great things about God, and decided, why not try him? I've tried everything else. And
even though you say you grew up in church, though.
Yeah, I did.
So you've heard about Jesus. Yeah. You knew of Jesus, but knowing of Jesus, that's the thing that I've realized. Being informed, probably 90% of America, I don't know, Doc,
that's a good statistic, but 90% I'm gonna say of America is informed of Jesus Christ and who He is. But I'm convinced that just doesn't cut it. And the thing in my life is I was informed of Jesus Christ growing up, knowing that He was the Son of God and died on the cross for my sins, and what a great display of love that was for me. But I rejected that for so long, and because I rejected it, because I rejected love, I received unto myself the exact opposite of that, and I lived a lifestyle of hatred. I lived a lifestyle of unforgiveness and pride and arrogance. And so one day I just finally said, man, I need you, Jesus. I need you to come into my life, and I accept your plan of salvation. I accept forgiveness. I accept what you've done as a display of love for me. I couldn't do it myself, and I want to get to know you the rest of my life. And the one thing that has made the difference in my life, Pastor Johnny, is that I didn't just leave it at that. And I think sometimes so many people in America and in this world maybe come to Christ and they say yes, and then they turn away from Him so very quickly.
So at what point did you find it, Jesus? Because I know was it when you were in prison? Was it you were just fed up? At what point? Because I know a lot of people get incarcerated and they find religion. They find their peace in a God, okay? But it was more than that to you then. Because, see, I've known you now out of prison, and you still have this joy, you still have this happiness, this love. So, and it seems like a lot of people that do come to find religion, I would say, or God, in jail or in prison, once they get out, all of a sudden they go back to their old life. But not you. What happened then?
Well, I choose every day to get plugged in. I call it getting plugged in to God. I choose every day to begin my day praying and seeking the Lord, and I do something much more than just asking God to bless my biscuits and grits prayers. I really, the Lord told David, He said, "Seek my face, David, King David." And King David said, He said, "Your face, Lord, I'll seek." And when I think about that, I think, that's got to be something much more than just asking God to bless your food.
Yes.
And Jesus died on the cross for us. And not just the suffering that He endured, but so much more than that. But when I think about that, I go, why would I not want to get to know your personality? Why would I not want to get to know who you are and experience your presence every day in my life? So it leads me into praying. It leads me into awesome studies of His Word. It leads me into setting aside time and really plugging into His presence daily.
Man, and then you met your lovely wife.
Yes, she's beautiful, isn't she? She's amazing. She's so good to me.
And I'm so happy for you guys. You're expecting a new child. That's such a blessing. So it seems to me like your life just kind of all came together.
It is.
And that's awesome. And so the biggest part of where your fall came, because you said you grew up in church.
I did.
So you didn't really actually know Jesus. You didn't know His peace. So somewhere along the line, the fall came, but then all of a sudden, after hitting rock bottom, you came into what? A relationship that caused this to happen? Describe that relationship a little bit.
Yeah, growing up in church, my grandmother she had a little church in Monticello, Arkansas, and man, she
was the pastor?
Yeah, she was the pastor.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she was a pastor for a while and wore hair up in a bun, long dress. Yeah, she'd be the kind of lady you can be in a grocery store, man. She'd go talking about the Lord, go to praying at the drop of a hat. So I grew up
very
in church.
loving person.
Yes.
That's where you probably get it from.
So I grew up in church, but the thing is that you can grow up in church, and it's better to be in God's house than the opposite of that. But you can grow up in church and hear sermons and be in the worship services, and it may look like you're a participant, but it's what happens outside of that church service.
Yes.
Jesus said, he said, go into your closet and close the door and seek me.
Yeah.
And when I think about it, it's like, there's no one around. And that's the difference maker there, is what am I doing outside of this service? I can't go. It's a good thing that I go to church now, but man, if I just relied and depended on one service a week, oh man, I wouldn't be able to make it.
So what you're saying, it goes beyond the church walls.
Oh, yeah.
It's a personal relationship 24/7.
That's right.
Every waking moment that we're awake, you're having some type of communication with this God.
That's right.
With Jesus.
That's right.
Amen. That's what's caused you to change your life.
Yes, it is.
That's sums it all up, and that's what that joy. It's funny because I mentioned about your grandmother, and you're talking about her, her, how she was and everything like that. But obviously, that's instilled inside of you, because that's the type of person that I've known since I've been knowing you. That's what I see. I mean, you never. It seems to me like you always take an opportunity when you see somebody, you connect with that person. And I've seen you talk to people out in the street, talk to strangers when you've been around me, and you just say hi to people and you go up to them. And I think that's awesome. That to me shows true love of God inside of you. It's not fake. It's not made up. It's just too real, I should say.
Yeah, last night, I work at mobile gas station in a pocket. Last night I was getting off work, and I'm riding my electric bike back home, and I passed by a guy on the sidewalk, and he's got this flashlight, and he's walking in the middle of the night. It's dark outside, and I guess he's using the flashlight to see his way to walk. And I passed by him, and man, the Lord says, "Hey, stop." And I'm thinking, man, Lord, I'm tired. I need to go home, And the Lord says, "No, stop. Turn around. So I turn, man, it almost brings tears to my eyes. I turn around, I go and chase the guy down. Hey. And I stop, and I say, "Listen, man, I don't know you, obviously, but going by you, the Lord says, just turn around and talk to you. Is everything all right in your life?" And he just stops, and he says, "Man, no, it's not." He says, I'm a heroin addict, and I'm wanting to get off heroin, and I've been taking this medication to try to further the recovery process of this addiction. And man, it just led into a few minutes with this awesome guy, and the next thing I know, I start to pray with him, and then tears just roll down his face. And you know what? I couldn't make it home. The guy, I traded numbers with him, shared life with him. He texts me and he says these words. He says, "Thank you for stopping and taking the time to talk to me." Wow. And I think that's so awesome. And used to, that wouldn't have been my intent. But now, because of the Spirit of God that lives inside of me, I can't help but to reach out to people. I'm glad that I listened to the Lord and turned around.
Well, you know what? And that's the Scott Adair that I've gotten to know. We're about to 1 minute left in the program, but I just want to say thank you, Scott, for coming. You and Melinda, I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you sharing your testimony. There's hope, people. There's hope.
Yeah, that's right.
And I would like to say that if you need somebody to talk to, call us. Get a hold of us. And we have 30 seconds left. If anything, you can private message me at Pastor Johnny or Johnny Diaz or even Doc Scott. And Doc, give your number again.
Telephone number is 407-230-4949.
4949. All right. Blessings. Thank you very much, Scott. We appreciate your testimony. Appreciate you. Blessings. Goodbye to everybody. Have a wonderful week. Happy Memorial Weekend.